Alright guys, we got some major problems with this dozer. This is a video you definitely don't want to miss out on. Welcome to the channel, guys. We've got a 850J here today. I just bought it from out west, come in. I knew it had some issues, or one major issue right off the bat. The engine has a ton of blow-by, and I'll show you here as soon as I start it up. The tractor's only got 900 hours on it. We think we may see the reason why it has a bunch of blow-by. There's a couple of reasons. If you don't know what blow-by is, on diesel motors they have no spark plugs, so they're firing off compression, so they got real high compression ratios. So when the diesel fuel sprays in, what the blow-by is, it's actually blowing past the piston rings. So if you imagine that piston going up and it firing, the excess smoke and stuff will blow past the piston rings when the engine gets warm. So we've got a bunch of excessive blow-by. I mean, it's coming out everywhere. So I think what the cause of the problem is, two of the main problems. One, there's no outer air filter in there. I don't know if you guys can see. There's just an inner, just sitting in there flopping around. Another one I see here, the big no-no, is this boot is actually loose and pulled off the turbo. That's the air intake boot. So, and you can see how dusty this tractor is. It come from the desert out west, so it's been sucking in dust for whatever reason. I don't know why that stuff's loose. Who knows? The Army has some dandy mechanics sometimes, so that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, it does start and run. We'll see if we can get it fired up here. But we'll probably do like a two-part video on this thing. One pulling the motor out, inspecting it, and probably another one putting the motor back together and stuff. So and getting it going. But overall, the tractor's pretty clean. Like I say, it come from the desert out west. It is missing all the belly pans. I think it may have had a ripper. It's had a ripper or a winch on it. They pulled all that stuff off, that oil residue. Some of the lines and stuff are actually capped those, but there's no belly pans underneath of it. So we're gonna see. It's a little chilly here this morning. We're gonna see if we can get this thing to fire up. So when I took it off the trailer, it took a little ether to get it going. It's got some oil in it. Antifreeze is good. We'll see what happens here. You'll see when I start it up. I'll open up. This is a blow-by tube. These are pre-emissions motors, so they don't have anything. I'll hold this out here. But this is the blow-by tube coming out of the valve cover. You'll see all the excess smoke coming out of there. Plus, another thing I check all the time, if you see me at auction or anybody, I always pull the oil cap off the machine I'm looking at and see if it's got any blow-by. A little bit's okay, but if you've got quite a bit, you've got some major engine issues going on. So let's see if I can get this dude going. hopefully good. See if we can get in here and find out. Not sure. Display off. We got 50 psi. We're kind of just barely above idle here. Fuel oil pressure. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, we're going to just go back here and wash that, get it all cleaned up before we take it apart. So, guys, I don't know if you guys could hear me in that video as I was driving this thing through, but to the wash pad. We got it back here. We're gonna jack the cab up. No reason we're gonna wash it all up so everything's clean. We'll end up yanking this whole motor out. Find it's quicker to yank the whole thing out. So then to try to do them in the tractor, you can do it in frame on them, but we can literally have that motor out in 45 minutes to an hour or so on the engine stand. Well, we're gonna get the cab jacked up. These 850Js have a set of bolts through here. All I gotta do is take those out. We've already took those out. We took the hood off and the side shields off this morning. It was dark and cold, and you guys probably wouldn't have seen it anyway. All the belly pans are gone, missing when I got it. And I'm actually probably gonna cut those out here after a bit while Randy's washing them and make new ones. A lot of these we get in from the military. Do not have them for any reason, but another row of bolts here comes out on this side. Then all you got to do, and this is for any of the 750 or 850 J series tractors. They've got two valves here. The black one's for the cab tilt. The red one's a selector. So these have brakes on them. You can actually pressurize the brakes so the tractor will roll. All this is a little hand jack, and it will jack the cab up. Slick as that, and you can get to everything under here. Let's see what kind of mess we got. Alright, got the cab all jacked up on this thing. We've got jacked up in the high stage, we call it. They've got two stages. That's low stage, this is a high stage. We got it jacked all the way up so Randy can get in there and get her all cleaned up. I don't see any oil leaks anywhere, so that's a good sign. Just a lot of dust and dirt. He'll get in here and wash all this stuff up and get her cleaned up. Got two transmission pumps here, one for each side. And on the very back's a hydraulic pump. So that's all that drives these tractors around since they're hydrostatic. But Randy will get this washed up and we'll get a video pulling this motor out and tearing it down. Alright guys, we got the Dozer back in the shop here. Randy got her all cleaned up, didn't you?
Oh, perfect.
Perfect, he says.
Yeah.
We're not going to get dirty whatsoever, so what we're going to do, we got the cab tilted up. We're going to pull all this stuff off, air cleaner, this hoop here. We've got engine bolts there, 4 in the front and 3 in the rear. There's actually 4 right back here that hold the pump to the engine, so we're going to get all this stuff out of the way here. Get this wiring harness out, hose is unhooked, and then we'll pull her out. Alright guys, Wayne's taking the last bolt out of the pumps back here. We got them all out. There's 4 of them around there. We got all the stuff pulled off the motor. We've just got 2 bolts on each side holding it in the cradle. So we're going to get those out. We're going to get a forklift to it first. And then we'll get those out and hopefully it comes out okay. Alright, we got the other 2 bolts out over here. Taking those out. Smile, you're on camera. Randy, did you get your glasses fixed?
No.
Randy's not happy because he broke his glasses. We need to go up a little bit, or are we alright?
It's probably going to sag just a little bit more. We dropped a 1/4 inch in the front.
There's my Napa warranty. That's a breaker bar, right?
Breaker bar ratchet.
Yeah, breaker bar ratchet. It just tells you how good Napa tools are, see?
I've wasted all my money on junk, didn't I?
Don't need snap-on tools.
There you go.
Alright. So Randy's gonna get on a forklift and we're gonna try to get the pump wiggled off here, and we've got to take it forward 4 or 5 inches and it's gotta come out of here, so. I can come up over here.
We're tight in the front. That hose right there is going to stop me from coming any further.
I'm clear of the teeth. I can come up.
There you go.
You want to go up real easy? Hang on, whoa. I got a bolt over here. I'm gonna have you go back down. Somebody left the bolt in here, that'd be me. Alright, whoa.
I think we both left the same bolt there.
I always like putting bolts back in the hole so I know where they come from.
My bad.
Okay, screwed me. There went my nut. Alright. You ready? He can go back if he needs to. Hang on, Randy. When you go, cut your wheels and take your back end to that other way. And back up real easy. Now go up a little bit. You want him to come in?
No, going up.
Up, you alright? I'm gonna hit that radiator.
No, we'll clear it.
It may
Once
come.
it gets up a little bit higher, I'll spin
It may go to the back a little bit too here. That alternator up there. There she is. So that coupling right there is all that drives that hydraulic pump. It's actually a plastic type coupling. Drives on the front of that pump. Guys can see in there. Bring it over here, Randy. That's good, Randy. Let's just go up a little bit. Whoa, whoa. Come back down a little.
Jay, you're gonna have to help him because I suck at doing that.
We'd be over here working on the motor, but Randy's still working on his glasses.
Sorry.
You got a pair on, Randy.
He's gotta have.
How many pairs do you need?
He's gotta have 2.
Well, this is not a good pair.
Oh, that's his good pair. Are you going on a date tonight?
Maybe.
So we're gonna start taking this motor apart. We're gonna yank the head off. Probably find a bunch of shiny pistons, aren't we? Shiny cylinders, would be my guess. We're gonna yank the manifold and everything off there. I'm gonna take the fuel lines off. Got the oil drain out of it. We're gonna cut the oil filter open too to see if there's anything in it, but we didn't see anything super nasty.
No big chunks.
No big chunks at this present time. Hopefully we don't find nothing, so we'll get the head off. You guys can sit over here and watch us and we'll see what we find. All right, we got the, or I didn't, Wayne got the manifold and stuff off on this side. We did find one little issue. I don't know if you guys can see that port. It's got some oil in it in the back port. The rest of them look somewhat normal. I got all the fuel lines off. You just pulled the valve cover off. You can see anything jumping out. These all have electronic injectors, so I have to pull that wire harness out of there. And we'll pull this bridge off. I think that's what they call it, intake. Bridge intake's all built in this section, then we'll pull the head off. So
Rocker box.
rocker box, it's a proper word. I did find out this is actually called an engine and not a motor. I've been told that 2 or 3 times today. What's the difference?
Engine is internal combustion. Motor is electric or hydraulically driven.
Okay, now we know.
I'll have to pop all these injector harness back through.
Mm-hmm.
Undo all that and then
Usually I can just take these and just peel the harness back and leave that on there too.
leave it in the rocker box
Yeah.
and then pull the.
Yeah. Okay, sounds like a plan. Alright, we got all the rocker arm shafts, intake and everything off. There you can see these are 4 valve per cylinder heads. Made in Germany, it's gotta be good, right?
That was the problem.
Is that the problem? I guess I've not said what motor this is. This is a 6090 John Deere, the 9-liter. Tier 3, I believe. So, we're getting ready to yank the head off. We got a little tube here, gotta watch. O-ring. Pick her up here and see what happens. A little power bar. What's it look like?
Gasket wasn't blowing anywhere.
No,
Just
that one cylinder
spec in
don't
it.
look.
None of them look steam clean, so yeah, that gasket was holding just fine. None of them look like they're overly crusty, like they were ingesting oil. This one's a little clean. on that valve. But none of them look like they've really carboned up, like it was really sucking oil.
It's always a good idea to inspect everything real close on the engine. You don't know what's going on with it. So. Hope you guys can see that spray pattern from the injectors, that star on there. That's where the injectors spray down fire. It's what you want to see, a nice clean spray pattern.
A pretty good lip at the top.
Those things are polished. You got a light? I don't think I see any crosshairs in these anymore. We got a good fire pattern on all of them.
Yeah, there's
no crosshatch. So I don't know, we'll show you on the new ones, but there should be a crosshatch on those. If you can see, these are polished smooth, indication of getting dust in it. So when those are polished shiny like that, the piston rings won't seal up.
You can see that oil where it's slipping past the rings there. That's why that one port was really nasty.
And so far it's looking like it's just sucked some dust up like we thought. So there's no crosshatch whatsoever in any of those.
Yeah, but there's also no scoring either. It's just
those
polished.
injectors look like they were done.
Really nice hitting.
Yeah, nice star pattern. You don't see that all the time.
Oh,
That's that guy that drained all that coolant out in place. You see?
Yeah. This one here's spraying a little over, but see how much tighter it is on the rest of these. That one's just, but that's still acceptable. It's
got
just
a little oil up in there, don't it?
Yeah.
Probably from coming underneath.
But
so far, so good, I guess you can say. So what we'll probably do now is rotate her over and say we'll pull the oil pan off next, right?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. All right, Wayne's taking the last two bolts out in the oil pan. Look at that. Got that big chunk of aluminum. What we got in there?
Old oil. No chunkies.
It's actually good.
Told you.
Good. No parts. Get this dipstick out here before we break it because it's plastic. There's a rocker shaft. Got little bridges between the valves. Push rods. This is an oil pump. It's all gear driven. Got to pick up. We'll probably get it off next. Let's inspect some bearings, but I'm liking what I see so far. And the thrust bearings right here, it's looking alright so far. So I got one thrust bearing, every motor does in different places, but this one's right here. Keeps the end place side to side on the. Just checking the thrust plate. We'll get this oil pump out and check a couple bearings. I actually got a brand new engine kit over there for it, new pistons, liners. So these have replaceable liners. We'll show you taking those out, or us taking those out. We'll get this oil pump off and look at some bearings. I'm thinking we're looking pretty good so far. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, we're pulling out pistons. We've got 4 out over there. Uncle Scott's dropping bolts. We're going to turn this motor over. We're taking them out in order, if I can. Somebody's got all this dirt on here. So I'm going to turn that over till this one gets up there where we can get impact on it. So we got number 5 and 6.
First one.
Piston fell out. That's what happens when I turn the camera on. They fall out on their own.
Should have turned it on a minute ago.
Yeah, it would have been. Normally you gotta knock them out because they got that little groove on the top of the cylinder. It's holding them up. So.
Oh, here, let me get that.
Go ahead, do something.
Man.
Please turn over the crank gear and get to the last one. Of course, like anything, all these caps are all numbered and matched, so you can't. Y'all got their own little number. These are actually what they call a crack cap. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they actually take a laser and cut a line inside here. They actually put a press and crack them. You can see that's actually a rough casting, but it's what they call a crack cap. So they're not interchangeable with any other thing. They have to go back together the way they come. These are all numbered, all the same. Taking the last one out. Crank's looking really good too. Is that one gonna fall or not?
No.
No.
But hold on before you have this bearing mesh up.
So you finally figured it out on the last one then?
Just got to caring about it. Give her a tap.
Little hammer?
Sure.
You're gonna get a bigger hammer. There goes your hand out. How you like that? So we're using the plastic rubber end of the handle to beat those out so don't tear anything up. But so far, I'm not seeing anything. Crank looks beautiful. Cam's down in there looking good. We'll clean all this up and look, but it's definitely not run out of oil or anything for sure. And I showed you that video running, it had good oil pressure yet, so. I'm liking everything I see. What about you, Wayne?
It looks good.
Looking beautiful.
It's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna pull off a
Main cap.
main cap. Let's see what it looks like. You went for the thrust one right off the bat.
Yep.
A hard one to get out.
I like to party.
I like to party. Just a coating.
Yep.
The crank looks beautiful. Coating was nicked up on the bearing a little bit, but it looks all fine and beautiful. So there's all 6 pistons out. We'll take a look at everything real close. We do have new pistons and liners, so next thing we're going to do is knock the liners out, probably, and then get everything cleaned up and go from there. We'll probably start putting bearings in it, and we got a lot of cleaning to do first, so we'll get on it. Alright, I want to show you guys, we got all the liners knocked out. You can see in there that top couple inches that has the cross hatches in it like we was talking about. You can see those there. You can see on down in that cylinder there's no cross hatches left whatsoever. They're all gone. Polished. Down in there you can see. Hopefully you can see that. But that's the reason we had all that blow by. It wasn't building compression. It was going past the rings. More than likely it was due to sucking dust in because we didn't have an outer air filter and some things were loose. Wayne's over here rolling some bearings out. The crank's looking all good everywhere, so has been sitting. We do see signs of that, but crank looks beautiful. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up, put back together. We'll probably do that in another video, putting it back together and getting it running. We got to do a few things on the dozer. We got to drain the fluids. The fuel tank's nasty in it. I don't know how old the fuel is, but it's nasty. We got all that stuff changed out. And I think we got to do a couple more things to the air conditioner. We got to get it charged. I think the blower motor is messed up in it, so we'll get all that stuff. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, like and share and subscribe. And I will be doing a second part to this video too. Probably us putting the motor back together. We're gonna pull that head apart and check all the valves and stuff in it too. So, but yeah, we'll be back with another video, so don't miss it.